Good morning, everybody. Today we are talking about conditionals. This is the grammar lesson for Unit 6. As you can see, we are talking about conditionals. In conditionals, we are talking about if and its conditionals. We have 4 types of if conditionals. 0 type, the first type, the second type, and the third type. There is also a mixed type, but we will not study it in this lesson. What about the conditionals? I'd like you to remember that conditional clauses consist of 2 parts. The first part is the if clause. This is what we call hypothesis. And the main clause or the result, this is the second part. So you have to know that when the if clause comes after the main clause, the 2 clauses are not separated with a comma. For example, you can listen and have a look at this example.
If you work on a computer for a long time, you may strain your eyes.
As you can see, this is an example for if conditional 1 or for type 1. If you work on a computer for a long time, you may strain your eyes. Take care of the verbs work and the verbs may strain. This is the conditional if you work on a computer for a long time. And what's the result? The result is you may strain your eyes. This is type 1, for example. Another example is
you may strain your eyes if you work on a computer for a long time.
You may strain your eyes if you work on a computer for a long time. What's the difference here? The second example, this example is different from that one, is that we didn't put a comma. Look, we didn't put this comma here because we began with the result. When you begin with the result, you may strain your eyes, and if in the middle, we don't use the comma. Take care of these notes. Now listen to conditional type 0. For 0 conditional or the conditional type 0, if is followed by a clause in the present simple. We can use if or when. We can use if or when plus present simple. The second sentence or the main clause or the result should be also in present simple. Like this example.
If a person eats too much, he or she puts on weight.
This is a fact. If a person eats too much, he or she puts on weight. Look, if, and here the verb eats, this is present simple, and the result puts on weight, also present simple. Now the type 1, conditional type 1. In conditional type 1, it's the same like conditional type 0. If is followed by present tenses, but the main clause should be future simple or modals plus infinitive. For example,
if she doesn't have a fever tomorrow, she will go to work.
Look here, if she doesn't have, this is present simple, if she doesn't have a fever tomorrow, she will go to work. Will go, will plus infinitive. And we can use unless instead of if. Unless she has a fever tomorrow, she will go to work. This is the first type. Now the second type, conditional type 2, here if is followed by past simple or past continuous. When if is followed by past simple or past continuous, so the main clause should have would or could or might plus infinitive. For example, if he didn't exercise, this is past simple. If he didn't exercise so much, he wouldn't have backache all the time. He wouldn't have backache all the time. Now, we have for conditional type 2 this case. If I were or if I was you. I think you know this expression, if I were you. We use it for advice or for recommendation. We can use it for advice. If I were you, I would see the doctor, for example. Look at this example. If I were or was you, I'd, it stands for I would, exercise to strengthen my body. And we use this conditional to give advice. And now the third type, conditional type 3. In conditional type 3, we have if followed by past perfect. Past perfect means had or past participle. Had or past participle. In this case, the main clause or the other sentence or the result should have would, could, or might have plus past participle, like the example here. If he had watched his diet more, he would have lost more weight. Okay? Look at this example also. If I had been more careful, I wouldn't have slipped and broken my leg. This is another example. And this also another example. If the other team's footballer hadn't pushed him, he wouldn't have fallen. Now if followed by past perfect had plus past participle, and the result or the main clause would have plus past participle. Okay? Thank you very much. This is the if conditionals in the 4 types: 0, conditional, conditional 1, conditional 2, and conditional type 3. I hope it will be helpful to you. If you have any more questions, you can ask me.